here's a fact or fiction, all right? So if you are married and you die without a will, your spouse will automatically get everything. Is that fact or is that fiction? I know you're answering that in your head right now, so let's see if you're correct.
Under North Carolina law, that doesn't happen. If you have children, your estate is shared with your children. If you have parents and you don't have children, it's shared between your spouse and your parents, and often that is not what people want, and often it really creates a nightmare because if there's minor children involved, then the court's involved.
All right, so the court system doesn't work like we oftentimes think that it does, or maybe that it should, which is why we often find ourselves thinking we need to talk to a lawyer about all kinds of things. I don't know if any of you have had that experience of having to talk to a lawyer about anything. Traffic ticket, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Lots of things. When you get older and married and all that mess, you're talking
I was
to
like,
lawyers.
I haven't got there yet.
I've not had that experience.
You have not had that experience
I've not.
yet. Because a lot of times when people get a ticket, right, they get a lot of stuff in the mail from lawyers
They do.
saying that, you know, you can get out of
can
the
help you
ticket
out.
if you know, hire a lawyer.
I'm like, is that going to cost more than my ticket?
No. What happens is usually people do that because they don't want points on their license.
Yeah.
Oh, so it'd
Okay.
be worth the money. I see.
But
Right.
it can help
I
you
see
with
it.
that part of it at least.
Right,
Yeah.
and I think often we have a question, right, but we don't know if we need a lawyer or not, and we're kind of afraid if we ask a lawyer, it's just going to be an automatic payment.
Yes, I feel like there's always that fear. I haven't dealt with a lawyer before, but you think that, right? They're just going to start putting a
Yeah.
button and timing you.
Right, and be like, okay, you asked me that question, it's going to be $200.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, but that's not actually what happens. When most of the time when you call a lawyer for a consultation, usually the consultation is free, right, until they start actually doing some work. But you still might be hesitant. So I want to give you a solution. Here it is. It's this week. It is For All Statewide Service Day. It's an event that is set up so that you can call and talk to a lawyer for free. The day to call is Friday. Phones are open from 10 until 7. You can ask about traffic or employment or foreclosure or wills or estates or whatever. The information you get from the lawyer will be free. Every lawyer gives their time and expertise. When you call, what you're going to be doing is talking to a North Carolina lawyer. They are doing this because this is what they call pro bono. So it is, they're lending their expertise and their time for free for this. Now, you can take your phone out. And I want you to take a screenshot of this number because the phones are open on Friday, right? And it's one of those things where you're like, I've been asking myself in my head something, right?
Yeah.
And I want to get it out. So 10 to 7 on Friday, the North Carolina Bar Association puts this on.
Is there a time limit for how long you're allowed to speak with the lawyer?
No, not really.
It's up to the lawyers really to.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something where they're going to be able to probably solve your entire issue.
Sure.
Right? They're not
Right.
giving you advice. They are
Just some
giving you
pointers.
They are giving you information.
Tips.
Maybe these are the next 3 steps you need to
Yes.
do, or you can choose this, or you can choose this. This is what happens when you choose those different things. And a lot of times, you just need context on something.
And things that you, I mean, I know I have asked attorneys things before and said, you're kidding me. That's the way it works. So when you have those questions, they will show you the right path. They're not going to give you your answer per se.
Just like
because
go
they
in the
can't really
right
say,
direction.
you know,
Right.
yeah, right. You get exactly what you need to do next. And wills are very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought it was the craziest thing. I did my will for the first time like 3 years ago. And so I said, so lawyer, you're going to keep it, right? And then if something happens to me, you're going to take it to the courthouse or you just make it active. And he's like, no, that's not how that works.
That's right.
I took my will home and you have to tell the executor, a friend
Yeah.
or whatever, hey, by the way, this is where it is in my house and you have to take it to the courthouse to make it all happen.
Isn't
You
that
gotta
crazy?
Put a lot
you
of
would
trust
never.
in that person. I'm just kidding.
Well, by that point, you don't really care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
Right, and
Yeah.
your will is already done, so it's not like they can change something.
True,
Right.
true.
All right.
The more
so
you know.
Yeah. Don't think you know the answer to something. Don't go asking your neighbor about what should happen. Call and get the legal information that you really need for free. It's coming up this Friday.
That's awesome.